Since May is Mental Health Awareness Month, we wanted to spend our month this time talking about mental health. We recognize that everyone has mental health struggles at different times in their life. Sometimes it's situational, and sometimes it's a chemical imbalance or other things that cause mental health issues. Some examples of mental health struggles would be anxiety, depression, loneliness, insomnia, obsessive compulsive issues. Just there's a wide variety of different types of mental health struggles that we all have. One of the things that I know that I have dealt with is I've had some pretty tough situational depression a couple of different times in my life that have been ongoing. Something that has helped me to process that, there's a few things. One is I seek professional help. I seek a counselor that I talk with on a regular basis. Also, being outside is really helpful to me. I like to work in my yard, in my garden. The sun, the dirt helps relieve the hormones that make me happy and that calm me. Another thing that's really helpful to me is exercising. When I exercise, it's as much for my mental health as it is for my physical health. We would encourage everybody to take a look at their life, practice a little self-care and a little self-compassion. And if you recognize that you are struggling with something that is persistent and ongoing and is impacting your life in a way that you don't want it to, please reach out to a professional who can guide you and help you so that you can find joy in your life, in all of the aspects of your life. Also, we wanted to spend some time reaching out to some different TanaBell team members and have them share their experience with us so that people don't feel so alone. And if they had any advice for what worked for them, because maybe a suggestion they have may be helpful to you as well. So please enjoy these highlights from some of our TanaBell team members.
Yes, I personally deal with anxiety quite a bit. In 2017, I was involved in mass shooting. I'm not sure a lot of people are aware of that, but I was. And after that, it's been difficult when, other mass shootings occur. It really increases my anxiety, just being in public places I'm not familiar with, large crowds, those type of things. So that's something that I deal with. And then, of course, the insomnia with the anxiety as well. For me, it's just knowing my environment. So making sure I feel comfortable in the environment I'm in. And then just familiarizing myself with the different areas that I'm at. That's helped me a lot. And then honestly, a lot of my anxiety comes with not necessarily myself, but my family, my husband and my kids. So as long as I know that they're okay and like they're safe, then usually my anxiety is pretty well. And then as far as insomnia goes, just trying to stay on a routine. So making sure I try to go to bed at, a certain time, or just watch a show or something that calms my mind down so that I can try to sleep. Yeah, my suggestion for anxiety would be to just try to figure out kind of what your triggers are and just adjust to those the best you can. For insomnia, I think that, again, just keeping a routine and, trying to go to bed at a certain time every night. Sometimes they say, like, don't eat large meals before bed. I'm not sure how that coincides, but sometimes it does help. Sugar, they say, can increase those type of things. Anything that can kind of get your mind racing. So just, listening to audiobooks or watching, for me, it's watching a TV show, something that's just kind of mindless that my mind can focus on, but I can calm down at the same time.
Definitely. I've had several family members that have struggled with many different mental illnesses. What comes to my mind is my cousin Katie. She's a year older than me. She struggles with depression. And that's something that she's struggled with since I've known her as a kid. I think something is, one, realizing that that she has depression, right? I think it's the first step in knowing. But something that really helps her, I've seen that she's really conquered the issue at times, is reaching out to family and friends. She knows, certain things that could lead to, to having a bad day. And she tries to do, if you will, preventative care with that, with reaching out. She'll shoot me a text or something like that, and sometimes I can just tell, and I'd love to get on the phone with her and just talk about life. And sometimes just being heard is, she knows that if she's heard by different family and friends, that she can feel better about things. So I think she's struggled with depression since she's a little girl, and I think the two things that kind of go hand in hand are first and foremost is that she reaches out to family and friends. She's a good support structure. She's lucky in that case, having good cousins and sister and a brother, and that she's able to reach out and be able to get advice from them, or just be able to have people listen to what she's dealing with in life, and vice versa. She reciprocates that. I think the other thing that she's also in recent times has been a help with is going to a physician or a doctor to be able to get the medication that can help her out. And I've seen how that's also helped her out, through trial and error and with working with a doctor to figure out what works best for her.
So with me personally, I've struggled with like a lot of like stress, especially through like nursing school and everything. And then like I do have like family members who have struggled with depression for mental health wise as well.
How about you, Emily?
I have struggled with mental health. I have a few different chronic illnesses that have really changed my lifestyle over the last few years, and it's definitely been hard. And I feel like everybody needs to know that everybody struggles.
So like for me personally, I feel like it's very important to like talk to somebody, like even if it's somebody in your like family, like just kind of being able to like open like things out into the air, like makes things easier, as well as like I guess like distraction in a way. So like being able to like go out, do things, and like hang out with more friends instead of just like sitting home. That really has helped me personally.
I feel the same way. Like getting out and doing things really helps me feel just better. I feel like I'm not sitting at home thinking about how my life used to be and like the differences in how I function now based on how I used to function, and being really young and being sick is just hard, and having friends that don't remind me of how sick I am all the time is really great. So it's good to have a support system and try to get out and distract yourself from everything so you don't overthink.
My advice would just be like surround yourself with people who support you and who you feel comfortable being around and talking with.
Wonderful.
Yeah. My advice would be, if you feel like you need help, to reach out, whether that be to a family member, a friend, or a professional. If you feel like something is wrong and you need support, to get it and not suffer in silence.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for
Of
your
course.
time.
So for this month, we have mental awareness. One thing I want to talk about is I feel like everybody struggles with one thing, whether it's just for a weekend or you just get overwhelmed. I feel like I have struggled with depression at one point, and then now those times I feel like I was never gonna progress. I didn't know what I was gonna do, but life gets better. I never thought that I'd be here where I am right now, and sometimes we can get overwhelmed, and sometimes we can, you're going to work, having so much things going on, trying to go home, take care of family, clean around the house, and still try to make everybody happy. And sometimes it's so hard to do that when you're like mentally not happy yourself, right? So how do you make people happy when you're not, you can't do it for yourself? So my word of advice is that there's so much things going on. You just got to like take a step back and realize you can't fix everything. You can't make everybody happy all at once. You can't fix all your problems at once. You just gotta do what you can do right now, So one step at a time, because if you overthink things, you will fall into like a small little pit of like, I can't get better. But things do get better. Just want to let you know that you're not alone. We're all human. And if you ever need someone to talk to or anything, all those facilities should have someone to reach out to help you get whatever you need. So enjoy the rest of our video, and thanks for watching.
Yeah, mental health issue I struggle with is anxiety, just getting overwhelmed by a lot of things going on in life, and just trying to help focus on, it's a lot, and it can be very stressful and very much a lot of anxiety sometimes.
Really overwhelming.
Yes, overwhelming. Advice I would give for dealing with anxiety would be focusing on one thing at a time, something you can control, because you can't always control all things in life, and that tends to make my anxiety worse. So focusing on one thing at a time that I can control. Maybe writing a list, or even if you need to, just set everything down and going and taking a walk or getting outside, getting some fresh air usually helps too. I have a lot of houseplants, and even though they are not something that is very much me, watering them is a form of self-care. It helps me just kind of focus on something that's pretty in the life and something that I can help and it's a form of self-care, just kind of a meditative moment also.
I would just say myself, because I've kind of been in a funk, maybe a depression, and wasn't really excited about going places, even though I was invited. Sometimes I'd go, sometimes I'd think of an excuse and stay home. But I just realized at some point that this isn't working for me and I'm not a happy camper. Well, I checked myself into the rec center to sign up for some classes. Well, just to go swim for leisurely, and then go out, go for a walk. I don't mind doing yard work. Yard work seems therapeutic to me, and I like to take photos. So taking snapshots of things in nature, makes me happy to see the results of how they look. And actually coming here to work, because it helps me get a different mindset, changes my focus, and I get to do crafts and activities with our residents, and they bring me a lot of happiness. And then they bring it out of me so that I feel happier. Even maybe going to church, if you're a church person, maybe prayer, maybe turning to somebody that is trained, a therapist or counselor, or just actually recognize it within yourself and then make steps after that. And if you need professional help, get it.